Hello, so in this video, we're going to be sharing a strategy that will explode your window replacement sales. So if you're a window replacement company, steal this strategy because we know it works, right? So here at Lead Phoenix, we generate leads for our clients in the home improvement industry. We've generated over 1,500 leads in the last couple of months alone, and this strategy works, right? So I'm just going to share with you right now, and then hopefully you guys can, make use of it as well too. So, but before we start, get into it, let's just talk about the problem right now, like what the issue is, right? So, a lot of companies are in this what we call the cold call hamster wheel, right? So you buy leads, you call them, right? Most of the time, you probably get the voicemail, and then it repeats, right? So call, put them in a dialer for like I don't know 6 7 days, and then we are going around and around in this circle, right? So what is the problem in this situation, right? So like we are basically like a stranger asking them for money. That's what you are right now, right? Because I mean you've bought the leads, but they may or may not be expecting that call, but in the end there's no incentive for them right now at this point for them to pick up that call, right? So we haven't earned the right, well, at least not yet, right? So how do we flip this around and make them want to pick up that call and make them want to become a client, right? So basically, what we do is, or what we explain. I mean, let me explain the brainwashing process, right? So it's actually very simple. It's basically education, right? The leads that we have are pre-programmed to get short educational videos from us. Immediately they become a lead, right? And the reason why we know this works is basically the law of this law that we've created, right? It's basically the repetition plus value is equal trust and authority. This is the way the world works right now. There's the attention economy, right? Where to get attention from someone, they need to trust you and then to see you as an authority. This is basically how influencers these days work, right? Because you're seeing them in your feed repetitively and they're providing value. Well, again, not all of them are providing value, but then the ones that are providing value are the ones that have the most trust and authority, right? So, what the strategy is basically how do we replicate this idea of them seeing us repetitively or repeatedly, and then we providing value repeatedly, right? This being able to implement this, right, will give us a huge unfair advantage because the leads are not cold, but they are looking forward to the call. They're looking forward to actually, you receiving that call from you, right? So it's basically educating them, and I'm going to show you how we do it, step by step, what we do, and you can actually, implement this as well too, right? So that's the brainwashing process. So how do you implement the actual process? How do you implement this, right? So the lead comes in, and immediately a welcome video goes out within 5 minutes, right? So this is an automation that we're able to create that actually implements this, right? So it nurtures the lead depending on what ad they're coming from, right? So how do we implement repetition plus value? So we have videos like three types of windows, right? Which is right for you, or what you should pay for quality windows so you don't get ripped off. Another video is like the biggest mistakes homeowners make when replacing windows. Like if you think about these titles, right, we're actually solving a pain point because homeowners are terrified of making a mistake, spending money, and they've probably heard about a friend of theirs that either got ripped off or had bad installs happen, but they don't want to be in that same scenario. So imagine them seeing a video of you explaining how to avoid these mistakes, right? Or then the last one that says, oh, we've replaced 3,000 windows this month alone. Here's what to look for in quality windows. That is a huge authority play there, right? That play there, that basically just says, you know what, we've done this so many times. We know how to give you the quality that you deserve, right? So again, like I said, repetition plus value. They are seeing. This is just 4 examples, right? Most of the time when we do this, we have like 20 to 30 videos running, sometimes 50, like concurrently. And these videos are just basically, short 60-second videos, pure education. We're not pitching them at all, right? And this keeps on running over and over again. We do this via email. So the email gets sent out every once a day, And then the best part about this is we can do what we call retargeting on the media platforms, YouTube and Facebook, Instagram, right? So they are being nurtured over time. So once they become a lead, so imagine them, they could see a span of 3-4 videos within a day. And then over the next 7 days, they've seen 20 videos, right? From the same person, nurturing them. Like, building trust and authority is actually not rocket science, right? All you need to do is basically show up and be there. And that's how we do it, right? So what they do is that they start seeing you as the authority. And then when your rep finally connects, they're like, oh yeah, I've been watching your videos, right? We get this comment a lot, right? From our partners, like, oh yeah, I've seen those videos. Oh yeah, thanks for calling. I really enjoyed this one and that one. And then it's like you already have the foot in the door, right? So you're not like a stranger calling, okay, you know what, come and buy some windows. No. So now you're like the consultant that has been helping them over time. And now they're ready to buy, right? They're like, they're more inclined to want to be a client, right? So why do we call this an unfair advantage, right? If you compare this to how other companies work, right? So you're like, oh, people send ads. Hello, do you want a free quote? Click here. Click here for 0% down, 50% off installation windows, right? These are like aggressive direct response tactics. They work to an extent. They work on the 3% that are ready to buy right now, but there's a huge, there's a huge, what's what I'm looking for? Like expanse of people that want to be nurtured, that want to understand how this works, right? But then so you are coming in with, teaching them about Windows, energy efficiency, and quality, right? So when you flip the script and then do this, the law of reciprocity kicks in, right? So you do something for them, they are inclined to want to do something back for you, even if it's just as simple as picking up the phone and having that chat, and then getting to that point where we're taking micro commitments to want to buy Windows, right? So they've been quote unquote brainwashed, right? We call it brainwashing, but then no, it's basically us educating them to see value over price, right? This is how we like turn people that are price shopping into quality buyers, right? Because we've sent them videos of, okay, you know what, be careful when you get like this kind of quote. These are the kind of windows you might get. Like you basically extract the quality buyers from the audience, right? There will always be price shoppers, but then there are like lots of people in the audience that are actually quality buyers, and we can use this to like micro target the quality buyers with our education, right? And setting this up is actually very simple, right? If you have a CRM with an email setup, you can have that set up where the emails are going out every day. You create the videos, and then with SMS. And then the best part about this is also you can also do this with retargeting, where they're browsing. People are doom scrolling on Meta every day, right? On Instagram. But then we have hooks that are able to stop them in their tracks. They get to watch the video, and they get their small dose of education dopamine for that, I don't know, 30 seconds, 60 seconds. And then we keep on doing that. We keep on showing up. As I said, repetition plus value. Repetition plus value. And that's basically how we do this, right? That's the unfair advantage, right? So what would you say? Well, would you call this manipulation? Well, again, I don't care what it's called. As long as it works and it helps the buyer, everybody, it's a win-win, right? It's simple education, because what I believe is an educated buyer is a better buyer any day for sure, right? So while everyone else is fighting for attention with cold calls, with the 0% down, like I hate it when I see those ads, because I'm like, what kind of buyer do you think you're gonna get with get free installs, right? You're definitely gonna get like someone that doesn't have money, right? But in this situation, we are actually flipping the script, and we are pre-programming them the leads to want to hear from you, right? So what you get is less canceled appointments, less no-shows, and actually more sales. So we've done this for our clients, right? In the home improvement space, in window replacement as well too. So feel free to steal this strategy and use it for yourself. But if you really need help and you want us to actually implement this whole strategy in your company, give us a call. There's a link in the description below, and then You book a call and I would love to talk to you and then, get you the leads that you want, right? See you in the next video.